Hello everyone, welcome to Arka Science, and today in this video I will be discussing about the transit of Venus into the sign of Gemini. Yesterday on 13th of July 2022, Venus had already entered the sign of Gemini, and this transit will be till 7th of August 2022. When we talk about the sign of Gemini, Gemini is basically the sign of communication. It is ruled by Mercury. It is the sign which talks about intellectual thoughts and ideas and our ability to express those thoughts specifically with those people with whom we interact in our daily lives in a daily manner. Now that can be our friends, that can be anyone from our neighborhood, it can be our siblings, specifically the younger siblings, brothers and sisters. When we talk about Venus, Venus is the planet of love, romance, relationship, marriage. It is the planet of pleasure. Now the planet of love is transiting through the house of communication. So that means it will improve our communication. It will improve our communication skills. That means whenever we will interact with anyone, it will be more towards a happy communication, you will say. You will feel more better to talk with the person with whom you are interacting in your daily manner. Or it may also happen that you will try to spend more time or try to have more beautiful communication specifically with those people who are very near and dear to you. And even in your daily life also, you are talking or you are communicating with anyone, or you are sharing your thoughts and ideas with anyone in your daily life, those expression or those interchange of ideas or exchange of ideas will be more fruitful, more better, and in a more happy state of mind because of this transit of Venus through the sign of Gemini. Now the same transit of Venus will have a different kind of impact on every one of us depending upon our own natal horoscope, the position of Venus in our natal chart, and the dasha sequence which we are running through. So anytime if you want a consultation from me, you can check the links in the description section. You can mail me directly through my email ID, or you can connect with me with my Facebook or Instagram accounts. So now I will talk about all the 12 ascendant signs, and it's a request from my side that please check it from your ascendant sign and your moon sign both, because it will give you an idea regarding that what kind of results are you expecting which is going to get manifested physically in front of you, and how it is going to impact you emotionally and mentally in front of you. Okay, so come, let us start. For the Aries ascendant people, Venus will be transiting in the sign of Gemini in your third house. Now this will improve your communication skills. This is the firstly which can be very much understood easily, and secondly it will also improve your creative talents. Your efforts, your actions will be more artistic, more creative, so you can uh, now put your efforts through your hobbies, through your creative talents in a more artistic mode of work. And it will also be helpful in your communication skills also. This is the most important thing which is going to happen. Now Venus happens to be your second lord also, so that means second lord transiting through the third house, it can also mean that your earnings can be related to your communication skills. It can be related to some kind of short travels, or with your efforts, with your actions, with your continuous efforts, the earnings may, or the finance or earnings can be coming on your way during this particular transit. Now Venus happens to be your seventh lord also, transiting through the third house, so that means the communication between you and your partner, it can be relationship partner, it can be business partner, or it can be your spouse also, it will improve. The communication between you and your partner will improve. Now third house is the house of efforts, seventh house is the house of relationship or marriage or business partnerships. So that means there can be some kind of restlessness can occur all of a sudden due to this particular transit of Venus through the sign of Gemini in your third house. Okay, so regarding that you need to be a bit careful, otherwise this transit is going to be a very good transit for you. Okay, so that's it for the Aries ascendant people. For the Taurus ascendant people, Venus will be transiting in your second house. Venus happens to be your Lagna lord, Venus happens to be your ascendant lord, transiting through the second house. So first of all, this will improve your presence at your family level. It will be more like you will like to enjoy the family moments in a more luxurious and a more comfortable manner. It will improve your speech, and it will also give you a strong sense of expression towards how you are expressing yourself through your speech, and also with your family members, and regarding any matter regarding your family. You will be having a complete charge over anything which is happening in front of you regarding your monetary matters, your financial matters, or regarding anything related to family members or at your family. Correct. Now Venus happens to be your 6th lord also. Now 6th lord transiting through the 2nd house, that is for the Taurus ascendant people I'm talking about. So that means you need to also keep away from any kinds of arguments. You also need to keep away from any kinds of unnecessary disputes with your near and dear ones, specifically at your family. Now since Venus transiting through the friendly sign of Gemini, so this can also indicate that this will improve your discipline towards your food eating habits and discipline towards your speech. So this is a very good time where you can improve upon regarding this kind of things. Another good thing is that since your first lord, that is Venus is the first lord, the ascendant lord, transiting through the 2nd house, it will also allow you to have a more confident mode of thinking about your potential regarding your earnings, regarding your finances, and your monetary thoughts regarding anything related to your money, related to your wealth. Okay, so those kind of managements can be much more better during this particular time. So if you are thinking to take anything, any reason regarding your finances, this is a very good time. Yes, there can be some kind of expenditures also, because Venus is a luxury loving planet. So all of a sudden you may feel that yes, I need this thing at my home. Okay, so that kind of expenditures can also be expected. Yes, I will say that if you feel it wise to do the spendings and expenditures, you can do it, but have a proper control over it. Okay, so in that way this particular transit will be very good for you. That's for the Taurus ascendant people. For the Gemini ascendant people, Venus will be transiting in your 1st house. Venus happens to be your 12th lord. Venus happens to be your 5th lord. First of all, since the 12th lord transiting through the 1st house, the first thing which I will say that you should take care of your health. This is the first thing. Secondly, at times it can make you feel very dreamy and imaginative, but since it is the planet Venus transiting through the 1st house, so it will also give you a very attractive and charismatic personality. You can say that people can be other people, it can be any other people, can always become very much attracted towards you, towards your personality, because of this transit of Venus over your 1st house, that is the Gemini sign. Okay, not only that, this Venus will directly aspect your 7th house, so it will also improve your relationships between you and your partner. Any kind of relationship it can be. Now it can be marriage relationship, it can be relationship between you and your partner, it can be business partners, or any other people with whom you interact with. That kind of communication or that kind of interactions will be much more beautified by this presence of Venus over your 1st house. Now Venus happens to be your 5th lord, also transiting through the 1st house, so that will also give you a very youthful and charming personality. Not only that, it will also make you very knowledgeable. You can be a very good advisor to the other people because of this transit of 5th lord over your 1st house. This is a time where you can also learn new things. This is a time where you can involve in some kind of spiritual and religious customs, rituals, learning some ancient scriptures, and it's a very good time, I will say, because 5th lord is the planet which rules over learning, intelligence, creative self-expression. So your imaginative power and your creativity all will be coming through your personality and behavior. So I will say it's a very wonderful transit for you. Only one thing, since it is the 12th lord transiting through the 1st house, and for the Gemini ascendant people, Saturn is also retrograding in the 8th house, so yes, take care regarding your health. Some healthcare is required, otherwise I will say it's a very good transit. For the Cancer ascendant people, Venus will be transiting in your 12th house. Venus happens to be your 4th lord, Venus happens to be your 11th lord, transiting through the 12th house. Now when we talk specifically the transit of Venus of the in the 12th house, I will say that this transit of Venus in the 12th house can make you a bit more pleasurable in your life, specifically towards the luxuries and comforts in a more extravagant way. Okay, now since it happens to be your 4th house lord and the 11th house lord, so in this particular section I will say that it may also happen that all of a sudden you may move to some isolation, or you may think about some foreign lands or faraway lands where you may get interested regarding some faraway lands, where you may feel that yes, I can move to that place and I can get that happiness, I can be more happy in isolation, I can be more happy in solitude, and I can enjoy the luxuries of life. This kind of feelings can also happen. So since it is also the 11th lord transiting through the 12th house, I will say that you may feel that when you are interacting yourself in a spiritual way of living or spiritual growth, you may feel that I'm getting that spiritual happiness, I'm getting that pleasure out of it. This also means that you can indulge in some kind of charities, you can do some charitable works that will be much more beneficial for you. And I will say that this is a time where you can spend some time for yourself in solitude and isolation, that will give you much more better results as compared to socializing in some other way, because 12th house is basically the house of solitude and isolation. And I will say, since it is the planet Venus, so even if you are alone, you will be happy and you will feel that yes, I can calculate the time in such a way, I can learn new things and I can implement my this solitude with my own intellectual ideas and thoughts in one way or the other, which can ultimately help me because this Venus will transit the 12th house and ultimately it will come your first house, come in your first house. So now this is the time when you can work on your thoughts and ideas, because the moment Venus comes to the sign of Cancer in your first house, that is the time, that is the moment when you will be able to express those ideas in a more proper emotions, in a more proper nurturing way of nurturing mode of expressing those thoughts in front of the whole world, I will say. So in this way you can bring a better results for this transit of Venus in the sign of Gemini in your 12th house. For the Leo ascendant people, Venus will be transiting in your 11th house. Venus happens to be your third lord, Venus happens to be your 10th lord. Now third lord and 10th lord transiting through the 11th house, first of all I will say that your efforts, your actions will help you out to have gains and fulfillment of desires in your life. Secondly, since it is the third lord which rules over your communication, and Gemini is a sign of communication skills, so this is a wonderful time where you will be able to express your thoughts, your ideas in a more better manner in front of your network circles, in front of your friend circles, and specifically if you are associated with big organizations, big companies, specifically it is your 10th lord transiting through your 11th house. So you can say that your efforts, your communication and the work, whatever work you do at your work environment, it will all together, it will help you out to achieve your aim and goals in your life. Not only that, it will be proving it will prove to be a much more beautiful interaction between you and your project manager, your project members. Okay, and not only that, your authorities and superiors will also help you to gain that name, fame, reputation in your life. And this Venus will directly look onto your 5th house of creative self-expression. So that means even after you have that gains, it will also allow you to have some time to improve on your creative skill set, learn new things, and ultimately help you in more good manner at your work environment and when you are dealing with your project team members or your network circle. So in this way, this transit of Venus happens to be a very good one for the Leo ascendant people. So for the Virgo ascendant people, Venus will be transiting in your 10th house of work and career and profession. Venus happens to be at 2nd lord, Venus happens to be a 9th lord. First of all, the 9th lord transiting through the 10th house, it is like that your luck, fortune, prosperity, and everything will be associated with whatever work you do. You can say that now you will be able to express your higher spiritual knowledge, your dharma, your righteousness in your work. Means you will be able to implement your dharma in your karma, in your work. So this is a wonderful time where your work, your projects will be more righteous, more ordered, and in a more beautiful, I will say. Secondly, this will also improve your communication skills between you and your work environment, you and your superiors and authorities. Suppose any matter which you wanted to convey with your superiors or authorities, but you were unable to do so. So this is the time when you will be able to convey or exchange or interchange those ideas between you and your authorities. This is also a wonderful time where you will be able to get proper name, fame, and proper way of work at your workplace. This is a very good time, I will say, because your ninth lord, that is also Venus, transiting through the 10th house. It's a wonderful time. Secondly, Venus happens to be at second lord, transiting through the 10th house. So whatever work you do, that will lead to your earning, or you can feel that yes, the amount of hard work which I am doing, I am also getting paid for that. Okay, so you will feel like that. So that is also a good thing. Secondly, suppose if you are associated with anything related to family business, family trade, or any work which relates to finance, wealth management, or monetary sector or economy, anything related to that, or even it can be related to commercial trade or anything related to that. In that way also, this transit of Venus through your 10th house in the house of Gemini will also give you much more better results. Okay, so that's it for the Virgo ascendant people. For the Libra ascendant people, Venus will be transiting in your 9th house. Venus happens to be your first lord and 8th lord. Now, being the 8th lord transiting through the 9th house, I will say that all of a sudden it will improve your curiosity or improve your idea or thoughts towards occult philosophies or learning something related to higher spiritual knowledge all of a sudden. Or suddenly there can be some kinds of long distance travels, some kind of religious discourses, or anything related to deeper philosophies where you may feel that yes, I want to learn these things, or anything related to ancient scriptures. Okay, this is also a time where you may directly get involved to learn new things from your guru, from your preceptor, or from your elders. Or it can also happen that you may get some proper advice from your father, from your guru, or from your preceptor. Why? Because Venus happens to be your Lagna lord, happens to be your ascendant lord, first lord. So you may get directly involved in learning new things, and that can also increase your curiosity and you may learn new things out of it. So first of all, I will say that first lord transiting through the 9th house, it's a wonderful transit because it will not only improve your luck, fortune and prosperity, but also it will improve your happiness and learn new things out of it. Okay, so there can be religious discourses also, and yes, this Venus will directly aspect your 3rd house, so it will improve your communication skills. It will also improve the way you put your efforts and actions. It will improve your creativity, artistic talent and hobbies, in which whatever work you do, whatever projects you undertake. So in that way, this transit of Venus is going to be very much beneficial for the Libra ascendant people. For the Scorpio ascendant people, Venus will be transiting in your 8th house. Venus happens to be your 7th lord, Venus happens to be your 12th lord. Now, transit of Venus through the 8th house is normally considered good because it improves the quality of married life, it improves the quality of relationship, it also improves the relationship between you and your in-laws. And suppose any matter related to your joint assets will be improved, any matter related to any kind of contracts between you and your business partners, or it can be you and your spouse, it will be improved by this transit of Venus through the 8th house. Now, since Venus happens to be your 12th lord and it will directly look over your 2nd house of wealth, so I will say that during this particular time you must avoid any kind of unnecessary expenditures. Suppose any kind of expenditure or any kind of spendings which may come in front of you, and if you feel that this expenditure is not required, this spending is not required as of now, and you can avoid it, then I will say that you must avoid it. Okay, because Venus is your 12th lord and it is transiting through the 8th house and looking onto your 2nd house. So it may happen that all of a sudden some kind of expenditure may come in front of you, and you may feel that should I do it or not. Okay, so regarding that I am saying you that if you feel that yes, it can be avoided, then avoid it. Secondly, Venus happens to be your 7th lord transiting through the 8th house. So this is a time when you must also take care regarding the health of your spouse, and it is you that all of a sudden you may feel that yes, by this transit of Venus, where you may feel that yes, it is helping you out to have a better time at your relationship and have a proper interaction between you and your spouse and your in-laws. But since Venus happens to be your 7th lord also, so with respect to your health of your spouse, you must take care regarding that. You must also take care regarding the luxuries and comforts of your spouse during this particular time, because Venus is transiting through the 8th house. So if you take care regarding all these things, then overall this transit of Venus will prove to be very beneficial for the Scorpio ascendant people. Okay, for this Sagittarius ascendant people, Venus will be transiting through the 7th house. Now by the virtue of transit of Venus through the 7th house, it will improve the relationship between you and your spouse. It will improve regarding any matter regarding your marriage, relationship, and it can be business partnership also, or suppose you are dealing with any people, it will improve that relationship. But again, one more thing, Venus happens to be your 6th lord, Venus happens to be your 11th lord for the Sagittarius ascendant people I am talking about. So that means during this particular transit, over expectation should be avoided. It may be like, suppose any matter or any issue which may come in front of you during this particular time, it should be properly handled through proper communication skills. Any kind of over expectations can lead to disputes or arguments, because Venus is your 11th lord and 6th lord, so don't forget that. Okay, since Venus is the significator of marriage, significator of spouse, and it is transiting through the house of marriage and relationship, so automatically it will give some better results, some good results. But its lordship will not change, correct? Its lordship is 6th house lord and 11th house lord. So stay away from any kind of over expectations. If you feel that something to be conveyed, you can convey it in some beautiful manner. You can convey it with respect to problem solving, correct, in a more practical manner, correct. In that way, that will give you much more better results. And yes, since it is the 6th lord transiting through the 7th house, so I will say take care regarding the health of your spouse also. Okay, in this way this transit will be much more beneficial for the Sagittarius ascendant people. For the Capricorn ascendant people, Venus is your 5th lord, Venus is your 10th lord for the Capricorn ascendant people, and this Venus is transiting through the 6th house. Now first of all of a sudden you will feel that your creativity, your creative self-expression becomes more powerful, becomes more prominent when you apply it in certain kinds of work which requires more practice, which requires more technicality, and which requires more discipline. But since Venus is the planet of love, pleasure, luxury and comforts, so at times you may feel that yes, I can also bring some balance between the discipline, daily practice, and regarding the luxury and comfort. So this is a time where you can also spend some time for the betterment of your health also. Some health care, some proper health care can be taken during this particular time, because this Venus is ultimately it will help you out. Now since Venus happens to be a 10th lord also transiting through the 6th house for the Capricorn ascendant people, that means at your work sector also some routine, some discipline, some proper arrangement of work, from some ordered work is also required. So that is also getting signified by this transit. But since it is planet Venus, so again Venus will say you that yes, overindulgence in anything will not be good. So here Venus is saying that you have to strike a balance, that that routine, that discipline is also required, and again at the same time some betterment of your health, some luxury, some comforts is also required in order to have that proper health care. Okay, so in that way you can improve your work sector, you can also improve your creative self expression and your creativity and your intelligence when you're working through your job or your whatever work or whatever project is implemented at your workplace by your superiors or authorities, where they are expecting that you will be able to follow those work. Okay, now since Venus is transiting through the sixth house, it will be very much good with respect to how you are interacting between you and your co-workers, and specifically how you are interacting between you and your superiors. So that kind of good interaction will be there between you and your co-workers, specifically when it is transiting through this sign of Gemini. Okay, yes, some work related responsibilities may all of a sudden come up in front of you, but I will say that this transit of Venus will actually help you out to learn new things, and it will be good also to perform those duties in a proper, ordered, timely manner. Okay, so that's way in that way this transit of Venus will prove to be beneficial for the Capricorn ascendant people. For the Aquarius ascendant people, Venus will be transiting in your fifth house, and for the Aquarius people, Venus is your fourth lord, Venus is your ninth lord, transiting through the fifth house. So first of all, you will feel that your creativity is getting enhanced, your all the talents which you have, it is getting more artistic and more creative by this transit of Venus in your fifth house. Secondly, this is a time where you may get a better piece of advice from your parents, because Venus is your fourth lord, which significates mother, and ninth lord, which significates father. So that means a good piece of advice may be obtained during this particular time of this transit from your parents, and that can be a life changer, that can prove to be a very good life changer in your life during this particular transit, and that can prove to be highly beneficial for you, because fifth house is also the house of intelligence, it is also the house of learning, and ninth house is the house of higher learning. The lord of ninth house transiting through the fifth house, so that means higher spiritual knowledge can now become a part of your intelligence. So this is a time where you can learn new things, and you can be also be a very good advisor to other people. Not only that, you will be able to learn those things, and you will be able to apply it in your work, and that can also lead to your gains and fulfillment of your desires. Not only that, since it is the fifth house, so it can also lead to suppose if you are associated anything related to Venusian field of work, now that can be singing, dancing, drama, or anything related to that, art, craft, anything. So in that way also this transit of Venus is going to give you very good results. Okay, now it can be theater, it can be cinema, or anything where it can be food, cosmetics, it can be. Okay, so in anything related to Venusian field of work, this particular transit of Venus in the fifth house will be very much beneficial for you, because you will be able to learn new things and implement it in front of your work through your creativity, and that will actually lead to your gains, because Venus will directly look onto your 11th house of gains. So in that way this transit of Venus in your fifth house for the Aquarius ascendant people will prove to be highly beneficial for you. Okay, for the Pisces ascendant people, Venus will be transiting through the fourth house. Now normally the transit of Venus through the fourth house is normally considered very good, because it allows the person to have that luxurious and comfortable setting at the place where he or she lives in. Normally the person feels more comfortable, more luxurious, the place where he or she lives in. So that's the reason this transit of Venus happens to be very much beneficial in the fourth house, because this Venus will directly look onto your 10th house of profession also. So at your work sector also it will improve the area where you are working. It will also improve the how you are completing your project. It will give you a creative skill set, so how artistically, how creatively you are able to complete your work. You are okay. Now this will also improve how you are dealing with your superiors, how you are dealing with your authorities, and it will also improve between how the relationship you have between your authorities and superiors and your co-workers. It will improve those things also. In that way, this transit of Venus through the fourth house happens to be very much beneficial. But don't forget, Venus is your third lord, is your eighth lord. So in some way or the other way, some kinds of restlessness can be there, specifically with respect to your emotions. Okay, so in that way you need to have a proper control over your instincts, proper control over your emotions. So anytime if you feel that yes, certain things are going on within your mind, so you can express it in a more beautiful manner, and in that way that will give you much more better results. Because don't forget, third house is also the house of writing. So anytime if you feel that yes, certain things are going on and that is creating some kinds of restlessness or anxiety, you can write it down, or you can communicate it with your mother, I will say, because that will, because fourth house is also the house of mother, and that can give you much more peace of mind. Another thing, Venus is also the eighth lord transiting through the fourth house. So this is a time when you can also take care regarding the health of your mother. Okay, this is a good time to take care regarding the health of your mother, because Venus is your eighth lord transiting through the fourth house. So health care of your mother is also very much beneficial during this particular time. Okay, so that's it for the Pisces ascendant people. And if you have liked this video, then press the like button, share to your near and dear ones. And if you are new to this channel, then please subscribe to the channel and tap onto the notification bell icon, so that every time I make a new video you get notified instantly. And anytime if you want a consultation from me, check the links in the description section. You can mail to me through my email ID, and you can connect with me through my Facebook or Instagram accounts. Your comments are always welcome to me. Your queries and opinions are always welcome in the comment box, and specifically when you talk about anything which inspires me, it really makes my day beautiful, because when I see those inspirational thoughts and ideas in my comment box, it really makes my day. So next time when I come back, I will be coming back with some another interesting video. So till then, I am signing off for today. Thanking you. Bye bye.